hello, Foundry development community, and the larger Foundry community as well, because this is the first public, update demo that I've put out that's been publicly available on the YouTube channel that I have here. Anyway, so this is very, very exciting, as some of the larger community might be wondering what the heck is taking so long with the new quest log and stuff like that. But I've been working on this very modern UI library for Foundry development, and I'm basically just taking it all the way, really defining some like advanced functionality before continuing to work on the quest log or the new quest log module that'll be using all this technology. So I'm just going to dive right in here and just show what you can do with GSAP. And here we have the position box demo. And let's remove all these guys here. And we'll add 250 elements. We'll create a new GSAP timeline. And it's going to do multiple things, including modifying the element opacity here. So I have the bounce out and duration, so you can set different tweenings, easing for the different animation stages and stuff like that. It's reversible. You can pause, a timeline. You can restart it. I mean, this is like just, it's just fantastic. And you can see this is all reactive. It's going through the validation. It's reactive in the sense that, so if I take off the validator here for the window bounds and we play the animation again, you'll see that it is going out further than the window area. So yeah, this fully reactive. It is fantastic. Yeah, we even have the full debugging if we want to enable it. Probably have to like take off a couple here. But you can see it's pretty awesome update. I can add the labels. Might want to take a couple more off here just when we add the labels. I'm gonna actually you can see all the data changing. Obviously, maybe slow down the video a little bit if you really want to see all the data changing. Anyway, it's super cool. I'm not going to be able to get into all the details on how it works with this video, but I just wanted to put out an update that a massive amount of rocket fuel is being poured on TRL at this time. You can also go over to the application demo here, and we have debugging enabled, and you can see a GSAP timeline applied to an application. You can see the wiggle, wiggle tween. I mean, it's just super cool. But TRL, the TyphonJS Runtime Library, it is a set of additional tooling to be able to use Svelte, but there's a lot of goodness added on top of Svelte. And Svelte is a modern framework for front-end development that it's more of a library, actually, versus a complete framework. It helps you integrate reactivity pretty much out of the box, but there's no actual UI framework for Svelte, and that's what I've been working on all these months. And the big goal is to make everything about an application or your typical UI dev experience reactive. And for the last 3 months, it's taken a long time, a lot longer than I expected. I've been working on an overhaul to the position system, and all this is backwards compatible with the Foundry core too. So it's pretty awesome. But if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, I will link them down below. Although they aren't public, but if you use the links below, you can check out some of the past updates. So this particular update that I'm really excited about, this is where the rocket fuel starts getting thrown on to TRL. I've been able to fully integrate GSAP for reactive animation. And GSAP is a Foundry, or it comes shipped with Foundry as a external module that you can load, and it otherwise is kind of difficult to use typically if you just try to use it directly. And TRL has some really great loading code to make it easy to import GSAP into your application. And furthermore, I've created kind of a front end for GSAP that is data oriented. This video literally could be like 3 hours long. I'm only going to really be able to go over some of the essential features of what TRL provides. You're going to have to dive into GSAP on your own, and because it's quite expansive. But this front end that I've created for it allows you to define your animations in a data-oriented manner versus imperative. GSAP is an imperative API, meaning that it is chained all together through like a series of function calls. And while you can create modular animations this way, it doesn't lend itself to it doesn't lend itself to working in the svelte or way that TRL is really geared towards working, which is with data. So anyway, let me just jump in here, and we'll take a look at the position app here. Now I have included the TyphonJS standard library that works on top of TRL to have a couple extra components here. And there'll be future demos. This is definitely an alpha release of that. But yeah, it just provides this nice little component to, organize things better. But yeah, in this application here, and we'll turn debugging on, because if you haven't seen this before, the UI library does advanced collision detection and stuff like that, and calculates all the matrix changes before you actually move or apply the movement to your element or your app. So it looks kind of cool. Like when we rotate here, you can kind of you can see the bounding rectangle, and you could see that all the collision detection works and everything. But anyway, you can check some of the past videos on all of that coolness. I mean, I'm just going to drop right into some of the new really snazzy features with GSAP. I mean, it's easy to apply. You can directly apply GSAP animations to an application or anything that has a position. And if you've seen some of the past updates, you can use the new position system on any element inside of Svelte. So that is very exciting. But that, and I've got all the plugins working from GSAP connected to the GSAP Compose front end. And yeah, let's see here. Let me just jump to some of the code here so we can take a look. And yeah, I just have to kind of dig in here just a little bit. So for that wiggle animation here, to connect GSAP with the position system, you use GSAP Compose, and you can import that from, let's see here, let me, so it's imported from the runtime svelte GSAP, and the really cool thing here too is you see like these are loading additional plugins, including a bonus, the custom wiggle bonus plugin, to import the plugins in a TRL application. You just have to do a import like this. Like you're not actually importing. Like it'll load the plugin into GSAP automatically for you, and GSAP uses data, or like here in the actually it's I have this little function here, create custom wiggle, but it creates a string that the custom wiggle plugin understands, and so we can see that down here, where the easing is set to custom wiggle. Yeah, so gosh, there's just so much to go over that I'm just gonna try to cover some of the cool features, and certainly. So when I talk about like data oriented, like here, let me just first run it. Selecting it, so that creates a new GSAP timeline. We can play it, and you can see that we're also affecting the opacity of the element. And the really cool thing here is like with the GSAP timelines, you can go forwards and backwards, and pause it. I mean, you can do all sorts of things, from controlling the timeline speed to like, I mean, there's so much you can do that there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all the things that GSAP can do in this particular update video. So when TRL launches, I will be putting out a series of probably a very long series of videos on the very particulars of how to get everything done. But here you can see that we basically have an array that defines an animation sequence, and it's just very handy basically. And you could see like the animation, everything is reactive, so the animation plays, but the you can see all the data updating reactively if you watch it closely here. I know it's a little hard to see if it's opaque and everything. But yeah, gosh, I wish I could really get into all this in detail, but definitely want to give definitely a little bit more info out there in the future on exactly how to use all this cool stuff. But it's built into the demo now, the Essential Svelte ESM demo. So do feel free, obviously, to go take a look at the code. And one other thing I'm going to talk about with the Svelte application here is that you can now swap out the draggable implementation with like there's a GSAP enabled version. Though I'm like, there also is a built-in animation tweening system that's native to TRL, and right now it supports the 2 tween, and I'm going to be significantly improving the animation engine. Like this is like stage number 1 of 2 for this massive update, basically. So one of the cool things, but the actual Svelte application and application shell, you can now dynamically swap out the draggable implementation. So like right here, I'm going to set the easing very, very high. So you can see it's very, very smooth, and it's got like a 2-second delay or whatever. Other things that you can do that are pretty cool with the GSAP version of draggable is inertia. So you can actually, here, let me just put the resistance down a little bit. Actually, it's going to allow it to, so you can kind of see like you can throw an application. And that's using the inertia plugin to set up a tween after you let go of the drag. And internally, the draggable, it's not the GSAP draggable that's doing all the work here. There is a draggable action in TRL for GSAP and the normal one. So one of the really cool things that I'll be doing with the upgrade, the second stage of the upgrade to the native tweening system in TRL, is make it possible so that you could do easing, like the interesting thing here is that without easing on, like say if we just switch back to the draggable here, everything is like very, very fast. Like the engine's very, very fast, but you can see like my mouse is kind of like jumping around a little bit. Like, I have a dirty mouse pad maybe, or just something's, it's not as smooth. Like I'm moving the mouse around here, and it's no different. Like if I drag this, this actual OS browser window here, you can see how it is kind of jumping around too. But one of the really cool things that we want to do with a modern UI framework is to kind of smooth out those inconsistencies of movement. Like this is just too accurate. I mean, it's not a problem. It's just really, in lockstep with where your mouse position goes. And I'll be adding this support for easing in this particular manner with the next stage of the native animation engine. But right now, you can hook it up with GSAP. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this on the video exactly, but when I have like 0.1 seconds of ease here, and when I start dragging this around, it actually becomes really, really smooth compared to without it. Obviously, if you extend this a little bit, and we'll see here. Okay, yeah, I gotta. There we go. So if we extend this out to like 0.4, there we go. 0.6 seconds. It'll be like a little bit more perceptible, but you can see how things are really, really smooth. But if you have an ease of 0.1 seconds here, it actually smooths things out visually. It's perceptibly noticeable. So if I switch easing off and kind of drag around, it's just a little bit more jerky, depending on like the quality of the mouse input or whatever. But anyway, that's just something really cool that you can do. Yeah, let's just pop open the Box application here now, and check out previous demos for all the performance and stuff like that. The really cool thing now is that you can apply a timeline, and each of the different boxes here is going to get a different timeline. And you can see it's a very similar animation to the previous like cards or whatever the app. But yeah, you can imagine how this system could be used for a cards implementation. But just like with the timelines, you can go back, go forward. It's really, really awesome. In fact, I'm probably gonna make part of this initial. Oops, yeah, it's gonna still be animating. It's kind of cool when you close it and go up the validator. We'll put it all up in this corner. Set a new timeline. And this is with linear. You can change the duration. Here, let me do like bounce out or whatever. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, this is just a fantastic update. It makes using GSAP easy. You can create reactive animations that hook up to the position system of TRL. It's very, very flexible and powerful. I mean, there's just so much I can go in. Like, I mean, again, this could be a 3-hour video easily. If I was going over all the actual updates and what you could do with GSAP and stuff like that. I suppose I'll just show the carousel demo again, because like if you saw the last video when I was using the current native tweening system to TRL, there was just an issue of canceling, and now with the stage 1 of the animation engine, I have that working now. So this is actually using actually in I've got it fixed. Actually, the next version. So right now it's using GSAP for the tweening. I've already done a little work on the next version of TRL and have improved the native animation engine already to be able to use it here for this situation. But it's using GSAP for tweening. And now we can actually, if we click multiple times, it goes to the correct. So I'll click it twice. It'll go to 13. Previously, the previous demo, I still had yet to resolve those kind of small things. But anyway, gosh, I wish I could dig into the code more. It's this is a massive update to TRL for reactive animations of GSAP. I'll be working on stage 2 of all of this in the coming release, and we'll we're at this point, it's like there is no UI framework for Svelte, and I have created and I am in the process of like really delivering an awesome app framework for Svelte powered applications that are reactive. So getting this whole animation integration is super prime. One caveat: the animation or the GSAP loading code requires a modern browser that supports top level await, and that means like Chrome in the last year. Chrome had support last year. Firefox over the summer of last year. I think Safari was the last major desktop browser to add support in about September last year. So you do need a modern browser to use this functionality. But yeah, other than that, it's just super powerful. Like there'll be a lot more, when we get to the video tutorial series, it's going to go on forever about all the cool things you could do with GSAP and the integration that is just super easy to use in TRL. Anyway, thanks for checking things out. Have a great weekend, everybody.